Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Better Know a Highway, here on Virtual Road Trip, a series where we take a closer look at the interstates and highways that cross this vast country of ours. In this episode of Better Know a Highway, we have an interstate that's still in production, one that exists in several segments crossing through the center of the country, Interstate 49. And real quick, before we get started, just wanted to remind you to please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Always appreciate that. Make sure to check out the VRT Discord, link in the description below. And if you want to support this channel, you can join as a member for just $2.99 a month by clicking the join button below. And I definitely appreciate that. And with all that out of the way, let's get started. Interstate 49 is a segmented highway in the central United States that runs north to south for a total distance of 547 miles through 3 total states. It currently exists in 3 sections, with plans to connect them in the future, as well as extending the highway further in both directions. Now it should be noted, and like many other interstates in the country, I-49 is closely followed along its travels by the north-south running US Route 71, which I-49 effectively replaces in many areas for faster travel. US 71 also connects the separated segments of I-49 and has many junctions and concurrencies along the way. Starting at the southern end, the first state that I-49 traverses is Louisiana, mostly through its northern half, where it has 2 segments, one in total and part of another, that run for 239 miles altogether. The southern terminus of I-49 is at a cloverleaf junction with the major east-west running I-10, just north of the city of Lafayette. 49 also junctions with State Route 182, which leads directly south into the downtown area of the nearby city. From here, it heads north and into the central region of the state, running past towns and cities such as Opelousas, as well as many bayou farmlands and dense southern woodlands. A turn to the northwest, and roughly 50 miles further, I-49 reaches its next significant settlement of Alexandria, Louisiana. First, rounding a sharp turn, and then having a junction with US 71, before entering the city directly and passing right next to its downtown core. Shortly after it passes the city, I-49 reaches the Red River and the valley it creates, following it closely while staying on a northwest heading. The highway then heads out of the Alexandria area and into the rural farm country that surrounds the river, while going further into the northern part of the state. Staying within the vicinity of the Red River, 49 provides access to many settlements along it as it heads further northwest. Places such as Natchitoches and Coushatta, being connected to both by local routes, while also traversing alternating terrain of open farmland and dense forests along the way. Eventually, after some time, 49 reaches its last metro area within Louisiana, the city of Shreveport. Entering the central suburbs from the south and crossing part of the local beltway, 49 makes a straight path to the downtown area, but is cut off just south of it at a T-junction with the long-running I-20. This ends the southernmost and oldest section of I-49. The interstate resumes for its central section just to the north, at a direct distance of 3.5 miles away, starting at a junction with the local beltway spur I-220. Now slightly outside of downtown Shreveport, 49 heads north and leaves the metro area while still closely following the Red River and still being closely followed by US Route 71. Once again back in the Louisiana countryside and heading due north, 49 passes a few more towns, weaving both east and west of them for a moderate distance, before it finally reaches the state's northern border and enters Arkansas. I-49 exists in 2 separate sections within the natural state, one in the south and another in the northern part, running for 124 miles total. The highway enters the state and travels on a due north heading through more rural countryside. A short distance further, and 49 begins to move away from the Red River as it keeps north and the highway turns more northwest. Reaching the very western edge of Arkansas, I-49 soon enters the bi-state city of Texarkana, and soon junctions with the city beltway, known as Loop 151. This circular track goes around the city, through both Arkansas and nearby Texas, and consists of multiple routes, including I-49, as well as a spur route I-369 and sections of I-30 and US Route 59. 49 itself covers the eastern side and turns to wrap around Texarkana as it heads north and eventually junctions with the aforementioned I-30 directly. Then as it continues north, it leaves the Beltway and enters nearby open fields, where it makes a sharp turn to the west, and then ends at a junction with what else? US Route 71, directly on the Arkansas-Texas border. This ends the central section of I-49. A large gap then exists throughout most of the state. US Route 71 fills in most of this gap as it meanders its way over mostly rural lands through the many hills of central Arkansas, while staying close to the state's western border. Eventually, as US 71 reaches and passes through the city of Fort Smith, it closes the gap when it reaches the southern end of the final northern section of I-49. This one begins at a junction with the transcontinental Interstate 40, just north of the small city of Alma, and roughly 12 miles northeast of Fort Smith itself. From here, 49 heads north into the deeply rural Ozark Mountains. Snaking through dense forest with many hills and valleys, the highway has several impressive crossings with the numerous gorges within the area. Also in this region, 49 has its only underground crossing when it traverses the Bobby Hopper Tunnel, the only highway tunnel in all of Arkansas, which runs for 1,600 feet in length under the Ozark Plateau. Descending down the northern side of the mountain range, 49 enters its next populated area with the city of Fayetteville and the region officially known as Northwest Arkansas. Approaching from the south, 49 reaches Fayetteville and stays slightly west of the city core, connected to it, as well as the nearby University of Arkansas, by local routes. It then moves on to the other cities in the area, passing places such as Springdale, Lowell, Rogers, and finally Bentonville, the last city being of note as the location of the world headquarters of Walmart, which brings much traffic to this part of I-49. A turn to the west to wrap around Bentonville brings I-49 to its final stretch within the state, before one more turn back to the north to reach the border and cross into Missouri. I-49 has a continuous and relatively straight north-to-south run within the Show Me State, for a total of 184 miles. Entering Missouri in its rural southwest corner, 49 keeps on its due north heading past several small cities and towns. Then, after a modest distance, the highway reaches a significant junction with a long-running I-44, just outside the city of Joplin. 49 then joins 44 concurrently and turns east, as 44 west heads closer to the nearby city. The concurrency is relatively short, at just a bit over 6 miles in length, as 49 separates by making a turn back to the north and heading out of the Joplin area completely, while passing the nearby city of Carthage just to its west. Now heading in a nearly straight line, 49 makes its way through vast farmland, interspersed with smaller settlements, places such as Jasper, Lamar, Butler, and eventually Harrisonville. Then, once past this area, 49 begins to enter its final populated region in the Kansas City metro area. 49 makes a sharp turn to the northwest as it reaches more developed lands with suburban neighborhoods and industrial areas. As it gets closer to the KC, the highway makes one final turn to the north, but 49 never reaches the city itself, as it terminates at a complex junction with the two local beltway spurs in the region, I-435 and I-470, just north of the suburban city of Grandview. This thus ends the final northern section of I-49, as well as its total 547-mile run. And that's going to do it for this episode of Better Know a Highway. I hope you enjoyed and hope you learned a little something along the way, as always. Hey, before you go, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. I always appreciate that. Make sure to check out the VRT Discord. The link will be down in the description below, and I definitely hope to see you there. And if you want to support this channel, you can click the join button below to join as a member for just $2.99 a month. And a big shout out, as always, to the members. Thank you so much for your support. It makes this channel possible. And if you want to join these cool people on this cool list, well, just click the join button below, become a member today. And with all that out of the way, well, hey, that's going to do it for now. But until next time, make sure you enjoy the ride, and And up next, we're headed to the Lone Star State, Interstate 45. And I'll see you then.